The train was getting slower and slower. As the noise of the pistons fell away, the winds and rain sounded louder than ever against the windows. Harry, who was nearest the door, got up to look into the corridor. All on the carriage, heads were sticking curiously out of the compartments. The train came to a stop with a jolt, and the distant thirds and banks told them that the luggage had fallen out of their racks. And then, without warning, all the lamps went out, and they were plunged into a total darkness. "What's going on?" came Ron's voice from behind Harry. "Ouch!" gasped Hermione. "Ron, that was my foot!" Harry felt his way back to his seat. "Do you think you were broken down?" "Don't know." There was a squeaking sound, and Harry could see a dim black outline of Ron, wiping a patch clean on the window and peering out. "There's something moving over there," Ron said. "I think people are coming aboard." The compartment door was suddenly open, and someone fell painfully over Harry's legs. "Sorry, do you know what's going on? Ouch!" "Hello, Neville," said Harry, feeling around in the dark and pulling Neville up by his cloak. "Harry, is that you? What's happening?" "I have no idea. Sit down." There was a loud hissing and yelp of pain. Neville had tried to sit on Crookshanks. "I'm going to go and ask the driver. What's going on?" came Hermione's voice. Harry felt her passing him, and then a thud and two loud squeals of pain. "Who's that? Who's that?" "Ginny! Hermione! What are you doing?" "I was looking for Ron." "Sit down here." "No," said Harry hurriedly. "I'm here." "Ouch," said Neville. "Quiet," said a hoarse voice suddenly. Professor Lupin appeared to be woken up at last. Harry could hear movements at his corner. None of them spoke. There was a soft, crackling noise, and a shivering light filled the compartment. Professor Lupin appeared to be holding a handful of flames. They illuminated his tired, grey face, but his eyes looked alert and very. "Stay where you are," he said at the same hoarse voice, and he got slowly to his feet, with his handful of fire held out in front of him. But the door stood slit open, before Lupin could reach it. Standing in the doorway, illuminated by the shivering flames in Lupin's hand, there was a cloaked figure that towered to the ceiling. Its face was completely hidden beneath its hood. Harry's eyes rolled downwards, and what he saw made his stomach contract. There was a hand protruding from the cloak, and it was glistening, greyish, slimy-looking and scabbed, like something dead that had decayed in water. It was visible only for a split second, as though the creature beneath the hood sensed Harry's gaze. And the hand was suddenly withdrawn after the thoughts of a black material. And then the thing beneath the hood, wherever it was, drew a long, slow, rattling breath, as it was trying to suck something more than air beneath its surroundings. The intense cold swept over them all. Harry could hear his own breath catch in his chest. The cold went deeper than his skin. It was in his chest. It was in his very heart. Harry's eyes rolled up into his head. He couldn't see. He was drowning in cold. There was a rush in his ears as well as water. He'd been dragged downwards, the roaring growing louder. And then, from far away, he heard screaming. Terrible, terrified, Canadian screams. He wanted to help wherever it was. He tried to move his arms, but couldn't. The thick white smoke was falling around him, inside him. "Harry! Harry! Are you all right?"